Disclaimer. I doesn't claim any of the arts. All the pictures shown belongs to the respective artist and company. If you are original owner and want me to remove the video, I will do it immediately. Just send me an email to inform me. And if you like my content, please subscribe to my channel. The chapter begins it showing a tall building with the sign of South Korea Guild, Nightwalker. Inside, Yoo Ah-hyung stares at Kim Ta-hyun and says, "So there was something going on after all." She frowns and asks loudly, "Trying to clear an unexplored dungeon with only South Korea's strength. What were you thinking? Making such a bombshell statement?" Kim Ta-hyun smiles softly, holding a glass of water. But then Yoo Ah-hyung remembers a talk with the chairman about Kim's plan. His face turns embarrassed, and he mutters, "I don't know whether to laugh or cry. Yoo Ah-hyung isn't done." She crosses her arms and says, "Even chairman looked very troubled. No matter how strong you are, what about the others?" He answers firmly, "That's the reason, right? Shin Korea can't keep relying solely on my strength forever, can it? If others don't grow, that would be a problem. Also, unexplored dungeons will be a big help in gaining experience." Yoo Ah-hyung rubs her head, confused. "That's true, but was there really a need to rush things like this?" Kim's voice turns serious. "Don't have that much time left." Yoo Ah-hyung stays quiet, not knowing what to say. Kim leans closer and says, "From now on, I plan to focus on activities inside the abyss." Yoo Ah-hyung looks shocked but listens carefully. Kim explains, just like in the Asia Player Friendship Tournament, players are divided into two types depending on where they're active. Yoo Ah-hyung thinks to herself, those who explore the unknown depths of the abyss and expand humanity's territory, and those who defend Earth from dungeon, break monsters, and fight against demons. So far, Tae-hyun has been mainly active outside the abyss and was promoted to SS rank in recognition of this. But now, right after becoming SS rank, he says he's heading into the abyss. Kim's eyes darken as he thinks, the king, the clues related to him, are in the abyss, not on Earth. If I stay stuck here forever, I'll never reach my goal. He looks worried and adds, "But while I'm gone, unexpected dangers might come again. That's why helping others grow is essential preparation." Tae-hyun, you're really impossible to figure out. It's like you're living in a completely different world. Suddenly, she glares at him. "You have way too many secrets, even during your last skill rampage." That wasn't a normal skill. Kim sits quietly, looking ashamed. Yoo Ah-hyung steps closer, their faces almost touching. "Who are you really?" Kim Ta-hyun avoids her eyes. "I don't want to tell you." Yoo Ah-hyung shouts, "What?" as she gets angrier. "Don't joke around. I'm being serious right now." Kim finishes his water and says calmly, "Even if I explain now, you won't be able to accept it. Someday, there will be the right moment to explain everything. When that time comes," Yoo Ah-hyung looks surprised but mutters, "I hope we won't need to make an awareness pact or anything like that." Kim replies, "I never go back on my word." Yoo Ah-hyung changes the subject. "So why did you come looking for me right after joining Shin Korea?" Kim answers, "I wanted to include player Yoo Ah-hyung in the Shin Korea raid team I'm forming. Seems like you've got a lot to handle." Ah-hyung rolls her eyes. "I haven't been able to keep up with work because I was bedridden for a while, remember?" Kim says, "So I'd like a recommendation for someone who can replace player Ha-hyung." Thinks for a moment. "Well, isn't that girl the only option? Annoying as it is, you're meticulous. Were you hoping to get my permission?" Kim shrugs. "Even if you didn't allow it, I was going to take her anyway." The story shifts to a bright day where a massive skyscraper towers under a clear blue sky dotted with clouds. This is the new Korea Player Association building, a symbol of power and unity. Inside, Kwon Yang-hyuk bursts into a loud, hearty laugh, his chest puffed out and eyes sharp with confidence. He points at Kim Ta-hyun and shouts, as expected of Kim Ta-hyun, "Of course you'd come find me." His voice echoes in the room, showing he's proud and sure of himself. A narrator's voice explains, "After receiving support from the nation and his league's long history, Kwon Yang-hyuk reclaimed his position as Korea's top tank." Nearby, Park Sung-jin stands quietly, a small smile on his face, as he watches Kwon fiddle with high-tech equipment in the background. Park thinks to himself, "Looks like I've gotten involved in something huge." His tone is a mix of excitement and nervousness. The narration continues. Still considered a top-tier force among S-rank players, Sung-jun. The focus shifts to Seo Hangul, who stares at the floor, his shoulders slumped. Guilt weighs on him as he mutters, "I'm not sure if someone like me, who once betrayed South Korea, deserves to be here." His voice cracks slightly. and he clenches his fists, unable to meet anyone's eyes. Kwak Siang steps closer to him, her smile warm and reassuring. She places a gentle hand on his shoulder and says, "Be grateful to Taejun for giving you a chance." Her kindness softens the tension, but Hangel's face remains troubled. The narrator adds, "Eo Hangul and Kang Si-young's known skills have grown significantly. Top players of South Korea gathered in one place after the Asia Player Friendship Tournament, yet the room feels charged with unspoken doubts. Suddenly, a light-haired woman with a ponytail steps into view. This is Lim Ah-hyung, her face pale and sweaty as she bites her lip. Her inner thoughts scream, "But am I really a good substitute for my sister?" Her hands tremble slightly as she glances around at the elite players, feeling both awe and crushing pressure. The door swings open and Kim Tae-yoon strides into the room. All eyes turn to him as he announces calmly, "Thanks for answering the sudden call, everyone. You've probably heard a rough outline of the situation. Everyone here will be joining the raid team I'm organizing." His voice is steady, but the weight of his words silences the room. Park Sung-jin breaks the silence, scratching his head nervously. Being selected by an S-rank player is an honor and all, but is this even feasible? He gestures around the room. All remaining unexplored dungeons are said to be at least S-level, but everyone here is only S-rank. His question hangs in the air, echoing the doubts of the others. Kim doesn't flinch. He meets Park's gaze, his confidence unshaken. "For now, yes. But I've seen your capabilities firsthand." His tone leaves no room for argument, like a general rallying his troops. Kim continues, his voice rising with determination. "All of you have the potential to become national-level rookies. Even beyond that, you'll realize that during this dungeon raid," he turns to Lim Ah-hyung, who freezes under his stare. "That goes for you too, Ah-hyung." Lim's cheeks flush pink, and she stares at her feet, unsure how to respond. After a long pause, she mumbles, "If you say so." Her voice is barely audible, betraying her insecurity. Kim softens slightly, crossing his arms. "It's not just empty encouragement. Everyone here is someone who became S-rank in a past life. Although it was supposed to happen further in the future, many things have already changed, so I have no choice but to push things forward accordingly." His words hint at secrets only he knows, adding mystery. Kwon jumps to his feet, eyes sparkling like a child's. "All right, let's go for it. Taehyun, bro." His enthusiasm is infectious, but Kim quickly raises a hand to calm him. With a sly grin, Kim adds, "Well, if we go into an even Lord dungeon right now, we die for sure. Dungeon deployment is in about a month. Until then, you'll be training with me." His playful tone contrasts with the seriousness of his warning. Without warning, Kim's eyes darken. He slams his palm onto the floor, and a swirling black energy king's domain explodes around them. The room dissolves, and the players tumble into a shadowy void, screaming as they fall. Kim's figure looms above them, surrounded by monstrous shadow creatures. His eyes glow menacingly as he growls. "First up, let's push you to the brink of death." 1 month later, in an unexplored dungeon in France named Opera House, a dramatic swirling energy or smoke fills the air, representing intense sound and power. Amidst this chaos, a lone figure stands at the center of the Opera House, surrounded by ghostly monsters preparing to attack. He activates his skill, enveloping his body in a strange aura. As the aura transforms into a shiny golden armor, he dons a helmet with a cross-shaped light emanating from it. Holding his sword tightly, motion lines and glowing light emphasize his strength. With a bright light illuminating the background, he strikes at the ghosts. In one powerful blow, an explosion of energy occurs, followed by rapid slashes that destroy the monsters instantly. This warrior is Cody Woods. Nearby, George, in his wolf form, surrounded by a blue aura, watches Cody in amazement and remarks, "No matter how many times I see it, Cody's power is insane." The panel shows George as a muscular character with glowing blue lines on his body, suggesting the use of a special ability. The battlefield is revealed, showing multiple characters engaged in combat within the dungeon. Montel stands out in the foreground, wielding a weapon with determination. Other players are also participating in the raid and fighting monsters. George continues, "The other SS rank players aren't falling behind either. Such overwhelming power. At this rate, clearing the unexplored dungeon within the day doesn't seem impossible." Suddenly, someone catches their attention. Marcus approaches George and says, "Did you hear? Shin Korea and Kim Tae-hyun are also entering an unexplored dungeon today." George laughs and responds sarcastically, "Really? That idiot Kim Tae-hyun. Unexplored dungeons aren't playgrounds for children. What's he planning to do with a bunch of S-ranks who aren't even national-level forces? Trying to save face will just get all his players killed. I wish I could see it myself. Meanwhile, Cody deactivates his skill and looks thoughtful and worried about Kim Tae-hyun's plan. In Greece's snake pit, Kwon and Kwak Seong are fleeing from a giant snake, chasing them. Kwon grabs the snake and separates its head from its tail, while Kwak Seong attacks it with magic to push it back. Seo Hangil arrives to strike at it as well, but their attacks prove futile. All of New Korea's players think desperately, if we keep fighting like this, we'll really die. However, retreat isn't an option because Kim Tae-hyun watches them from behind with a menacing aura. As they continue to fight snakes relentlessly, Kwon shouts at his teammates, "Hey, you bastards, can't you move faster? Do you want us all to get punished again?" Kwak Seong dodges an incoming attack and yells back, "Come on! I told you to stop charging ahead like that." Beside her, Seo Hangil runs with a terrified expression saying, "Buri, I want to go home." Meanwhile, Hyung fights off snakes while shouting, "I can't breathe." Kim Tae-hyun observes their performance from afar with a smile and thinks to himself, "They're steamrolling through. Looks like that hellish training paid off." As they explore deeper into the dungeon, they encounter strange boulders. Park Sung-jin steps forward and says, "What is this place? What are those strange boulders?" Upon closer inspection of some statues nearby, Lim Hyung exclaims, "They're not just rocks, they're all players who went missing in this dungeon." Suddenly, an ominous presence fills the area as darkness envelops them. A menacing voice echoes, "Welcome, foolish humans. Another day, another addition to my collection of sinners who defied my mediocrity." The dark aura belongs to Medusa, the SS-ranked dungeon master of Greece's unexplored dungeon. As Medusa reveals herself with glowing red eyes, Kim Tae-hyun steps forward confidently and smirks. "Let's see who will become my next collectible. How about a wallet made from snakeskin?" And with that, the chapter ends. Thank you for watching this video until the end. Support this channel by liking this video and subscribing the channel. And if you want me to recap another manhwa or manga, write its name in the comments section. And if you want to know that what happened in previous chapters, you can watch them in this channel. Stay tuned for next chapters.